Hi, hi. Tonight we're talking about the movie Angels and Demons, starring by Tom Hanks. In my opinion, this movie is excellent. Is in my top three. So well, I like it. Um, I'll give you a little summary of this movie, and my teammates will give you their opinion and if they recommend it or not. So let's start. This movie starts with the murder of a scientist, the one his body is found with the burned chest, and all indicates that the Illuminatis came back and they want to get noticed at the world. So it's a little complicated. Um, with the murder, the police found that the thing that the scientist was working at got lost. So it's very dangerous. Why? Because that thing was a capsule that, well, uh, had antimaterial that if it gets in touch with anything uh, outside the world or in the world, it can cause an explosion with critical damage. So it's dangerous. That's why the church and the police found Tom Hanks or his character Robert Langdon. The one is a super fan of the church's history, and he had helped the church to investigate and found the ones that wants to get in problems and also to the police. So they ask him for help, and he says that he was only going to help if he if the church let him get in the files of all the history to make a book that he was working at. And the church says that he was going to think about it, but they they need her help. So if he helped them, uh, they were going to think it. So he says, "Okay, I'll do it." And well, they travel to Roma, where is all the problem. Um, and with the time and all the stuff, they found that the cardinals of the Church of the Vatican um, were going to be selected to be the Pope. So they think, okay, it's going to be this event, so everything is related. Uh, so Tom Hanks or Robert Langdon uh, starts thinking, okay, what he wants, okay, and then they start to search and all that stuff, and then they wrapped all the cardinals. That was four, I think. Yeah, they were four. And they wrapped him and start to kill them, uh, uh, like in selected days. Okay, so they found that all the cardinals got wrapped, and Tom Hanks was like, "Okay, what we're going to do?" And the other protagonist, that it's Veronica, I think, it's also a scientist, wants revenge because she was friend of the scientist that got murdered. So she also helps to find out who is doing all this stuff. The cardinals start to got also murdered. Uh, each, I think it's 7 hours. Uh, and Tom Hanks is like, "Oh my God, I have to stop this right now." Um, the they killed three of the cardinals, and in the fourth, uh, with all the help of the church and the police and all that stuff, Tom Hanks or Robert Langdon, um, finds the fourth cardinal and save him. And they found out that the Camerlengo, or yeah, the Camerlengo, was the he was the one that was murdering all of them. Why? Because all if all got if all the cardinals die, he was going to take the charge of the Pope. So he was like, okay, if I kill all of them, they are going to give me that charge, and it's going to be amazing. So he was like, okay, I kill one, I kill two, I kill three, I kill four, and um, Tom Hanks stopped him. Well, so before they stopped the Camerlengo, uh, he was like, okay, they already saved the fourth cardinal. So I have to. They don't have to found that was me the one that I was murdering the cardinals. So what am I going to do? So in the other side, they think, okay, we already found the fourth cardinal, but it's still lost the capsule with the antimaterial that has a counter, and if it stops, it will explode everything. So they restored it, and they found that it's under the Vatican. Okay, so they they start and they found that it's under the Vatican. So if it explodes, everything was going to be critical. It was a critical damage because there was 1,000 of people there because the event of who was going to be the new pope. So if it explodes, everyone's die. So they start thinking about, okay, what we're going to do. So the Camerlengo goes there and says, okay, what can I do and what can I help, only to make them think that he wasn't the one that was murdering and was doing all that plot. So they strayed it and they found it. And the Camerlengo says, okay, give me that and I'll fly to the sky and I let it there and it will explode there in the sky and the damage will be like 0%. So they say, okay, go. So he goes, it explodes, everything okay. He he arrived, and Tom Hanks and all the other protagonists found out that was the Camerlengo. He was a murderer. So they try to catch him, to get him in prison, but the Camerlengo thinks, okay, um, I do I I did bad stuff, and he felt guilty about it. So he starts he get wet. He gets wet with oil. I, I don't remember. Well, something that if they get touched with the fire, it was going to burn. So he gets wet with that, and he he gets burned by himself. So he suicide. So he suicide himself in front of all the police, and well, it was a disaster. But the good thing and the happy ending was that the fourth cardinal that Tom Hanks, Robert Langdon, and Veronica saved was the new pope. So the church let Robert Langdon to get in the files of the church and let him end his book. And well, it's a complicated movie because well, it's everything about the church, but it's easy to understand and has a very good plot. And well, I think here we finished, and from my part is everything. So I I hope you enjoyed this, and well, see you.
I really enjoy this story. It has everything that makes a book interesting and exciting. The way the author shares the plot with the reader is excellent. He makes you feel what protagonist lives every second in the story. Also has the balance between the trailer and the drama. The characters are very good. There's no character that does not fit. I'm proud to say that it's on my top 3 of my favorite stories.
I would recommend this book to every people that likes drama, thriller, and fiction. The job of the author is excellent, the story is perfect, and they make a cinematic adaptation that is such an amazing movie. I really like it. So, if you ask me what book I would recommend, I will definitely say Angels and Demons.